Today we're going to be looking on how to convert rates and measurements using dimensional analysis, which is basically unit conversions. So let's look at an example of this. First of all, if we're trying to convert 760 miles per hour to miles per minute, you have to look and see what conversions that we have. Notice that we are converting miles to miles, no conversion there for the distance. And we want to go from hours to minutes. So we do have a conversion for the time. So since we're converting from hours to minutes, first of all you have to think about what conversion you know that is between hours and minutes. And we know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So this information right here, 1 hour equals 60 minutes, we're going to use to set up as a ratio. One goes on top, one side goes on bottom. So one of these, I'm just going to show this way. One side is going to go on top, one side's going to go on bottom, but you have to figure that out. So let's look back at the original ratio that we wrote. Since it said convert 760 miles first, we put that on top. Per hour, we put that on bottom. Now when you're setting up this next ratio, you want the hours to cancel out. For them to cancel out, they have to be opposites. So since the hour is on the bottom of the first ratio, when we take these two sides of the conversion, the 1 hour is going to go on top so that hours cancel out, and the second half of that conversion was 60 minutes, so it's going to go on the bottom. You always, again, want them to be opposites so that they will cancel each other out. Hours cancel out. Now, on top, all you do is multiply all the numbers that you have on top. On top, we have 760 times 1, which is obviously 760. And on the bottom, we have 1 times 60, which is obviously 60. So in our very last step, we're going to take our calculator and do the division. Because this says 760 divided by 60, which is going to be about 12 7/10 miles per minute. How do we know what to label it? Well, that's what we were looking for. It was miles per minute. This little symbol right here means about, which means that we rounded this number. It means that the decimal went on, and we can round to the nearest tenth. We can round to the nearest hundredth, but that just is an indication that we did do some rounding. Okay, let's try another one. Tyree and 3 friends attended skydiving class. Instructor tells them that they will travel at about 176 feet per second. Right there, it tells us the first ratio that we're going to set up. 176 feet goes on top, and seconds per second, which means 1 second goes on the bottom. How many miles per hour? So look what we have here. First, we have a distance conversion from feet to miles, but we also have a time conversion. But let's look at the feet to miles first. Feet to miles, what conversion do you know? Do you know how many feet are in a mile? There are 5 tomatoes, 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So we are going to take this conversion that we know. One of these goes either on the top, the other one goes on the bottom, and to decide it, remember we have to do opposites so they will cancel out. If we look back at our original one, we have feet on top, so we know that the feet has to go on the bottom. And that part of the conversion was 5,280 feet. So that goes on the bottom. So let's put that up there. There's our 60 seconds and our 1 feet. We took that. Well, I was doing time first on this one. All right, we'll do time first. You can do either one first, by the way. It doesn't matter which conversion you decide to do first. So that's a good teaching moment at this time. I was thinking I would do the distance first, this particular PowerPoint. I forgot that I did the time first, but it doesn't matter. So just pick one. So let's do the time conversion first. We're doing from seconds to hours. Now, I don't know if you know how many seconds are in an hour, but hopefully you know that there are 60 seconds in a minute. So that particular conversion we can set up. We want the seconds to cross out. So we put the seconds of the conversion on top. We also know that there are 60 minutes in an hour. There, we have the minute on the bottom and the minute on the top, and they cancel out. Now, if you want to, you can learn a little shortcut here. 1 second, if you were to take 60 times 60, That is equal to, sorry, this is supposed to be hours. 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. That is 60 times 60. So if you remember this one, you can do it in one step instead of the two steps that we showed here. Now let's do the measurement conversion from feet to miles. The feet was on top, so when we set up our ratio with 5,280 feet equals 1 mile, we have to put that on the bottom. So the 1 mile goes on top. The feet cancel out. Now we have to multiply everything together on top. So with your calculator, you would go 176 times 60 times 60. On the bottom, we just have 5,280. And when you divide those two numbers, you would get 120 miles per hour. The TGV is a high-speed rail train in France. At high speed, it runs an average of 320 kilometers per hour. How many meters per second? So first, we know that we have to set up as a ratio 320 kilometers per hour. So 320 kilometers is on top, 1 hour is on the bottom. We want to convert it to meters per second. So you have to decide, do I want to convert the distance first, or do I want to convert the time first? Let's think about the distance conversion first. Kilometers and meters, we're in metric here. Do you know how many meters there are in a kilometer? There are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. By the way, there is a common conversion worksheet uploaded to Google Classroom that you can copy off so that you can have it handy for these conversions. We also have to convert hours per second. We just talked about that. You can do the 60 seconds equals 1 minute, and then 60 minutes equals 1 hour, or if you want the shortcut, you can know that there are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. If you want to write that on your common conversion sheet, you could for a shortcut. So, first of all, we're going to set up the time. Again, it doesn't matter which one you do first. We know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, so we put the hour on the top so we can cancel out with the hour on the bottom from the original one. For the next conversion, we're going to put 1 minute equals 60 seconds. The minute goes on top so it can cancel out with the minute from the previous ratio. That is our time conversion. For a distance conversion, we know 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. Each one of those is going to go on top and bottom of the next ratio. Kilometers was on top of the first one, so we're going to put on the bottom. So we're going to put 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. So the kilometers cancel out. When we multiply everything across the top, 320 times 1,000, that would be 320,000. And 60 times 60 is 3,600. And when you divide those two, you get about 88 and 9/10 meters per second. Let's try another one. This is converting between metric and our customary system. We have 12 centimeters, and you might look at that and say, well, that's not a ratio. All we have is one thing. If you don't have anything on the bottom, you know that this one's on top, and on the bottom it's just a 1, just invisible 1. So you know that this is really on top. Okay? So, first of all, you have to know the conversion between centimeters and inches. And if you look at our common conversion chart, you will see that 1 centimeter is about 39 hundredths of an inch. So since our centimeters on top, when we write our ratio here, when we take these two bits of the conversion, the centimeters is going to have to go on the bottom so that they will cancel out. So we're going to put the 39 hundredths of an inch on top, 1 centimeter on the bottom. That's the conversion we know. We have ones on the bottom, so all we have to do is multiply 12 times 39 hundredths. And that gets 4 and 68 hundredths of an inch, approximately. Convert 4 quarts to liters. Again, you're going to have to look at your common conversion chart to see what we have here. We know that the 1 liter is about 1 and 57 thousandths of a quart. So again, since 4 quarts is by itself, we know that it's on top. So when we use this conversion and set that as a ratio, the quarts is going to have to be on the bottom. So we put 1 liter is equal to 1 and 57 thousandths quart. On top, we have 4 times 1. We're going to divide that by 1 and 57 thousandths. And when you do that, it is approximately 3 and 784 thousandths liters. At top speed, a giant tortoise can travel about 900 feet per hour. How many centimeters per second can a giant tortoise travel? So let's think about what conversions we know. We are converting from feet to centimeters, so from customary to metric, and we are converting hours to seconds. So we're going to have to know some type of conversion between feet to centimeters. Well, we know that there is 39 hundredths of an inch in a centimeter, and we know there's 12 inches in a foot. This is actually a two-part conversion. Since on our conversion chart we didn't put how many centimeters in a foot, you're first going to have to do the conversion we know, which is feet to inches, and then inches to centimeters. So sometimes a conversion will take two steps. We're also converting hours to seconds, which we do a lot, and we just talked about that. You can use the shortcut with 3,600 seconds per hour, or you can use the two-step method. So first we're going to convert feet to inches. So we know that there are 12 inches in a foot. We want the feet to cancel out, and since the feet is on the top of the first ratio, we put it on the bottom of the second one. The feet cancel out. Now we want to convert the inches to centimeters. Inches is on top, so we want inches on the bottom. So we're going to put 1 centimeter is equal to 39 hundredths of an inch. That completes our distance conversion. Now to convert the time, we can convert hours to minutes. 1 hour is 60 minutes, and 1 minute is 60 seconds, or you could do that in one step. We're going to multiply everything on top, 900 times 12. We're going to multiply everything on the bottom, 60 times 60 times 39 hundredths. Then you're going to divide, and you're going to get 7 and 69 hundredths centimeters per second. You might want to try that with your calculator and make sure you're doing it correctly. Okay, M, some of these are abbreviations and you have to know what they stand for. So when it says 18 M per minute, M is for meters. So we're converting from meters to centimeters and from minutes to seconds. So meters to centimeters, if you're not sure about that conversion, you can look it up on your conversion chart. There are 100 centimeters in a meter. So we're going to put the 100 centimeters on top and then 1 meter on the bottom so that the meters cancel out. That completes the distance conversion. And then from minutes to seconds, we know that 1 minute equals 60 seconds. That completes the time conversion. We multiply everything on top. That would be 1800 divided by 60, which is 30 centimeters per second. Okay, let's just try one more here. Convert 320 kilometers per hour to meters per second. So we have a distance conversion and a time conversion. First, we're converting kilometers to meters. What conversion do I know? I know that 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. There's my 1. So I'm going to set that up as a ratio, and since the kilometers is on top, I'm going to put the 1 kilometer on the bottom so that they cancel out, and put the 1,000 meters on the top. That completes the distance. Now from 1 hour to seconds, again, we could do that in 2 steps, or we have learned that there is 60 times 60, which is 3,600 seconds per 1 hour. So we can use that for a conversion. So we can we'll have to put the hours on the top because hours is on the bottom. We have to put the hours on the top. So 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds. Now we multiply across the top, and we have 320 times 1,000, which is 320,000. And on the bottom we have 3,600. And when we divide those two to our calculators, we get approximately 88 and 8 meters per second. Good luck with dimensional analysis.